Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new year, 2018. I know the Fight Guys been taking a long time off. There were some issues that we had, things were going on, but we are back bringing in boxing.
Their issues, not mine.
All right, we've had some issues. Leave it alone. So I am Fernando Pimentel for BehindTheGloves.com. This is Cynthia Codzi of Ring TV and The Real Fight Girl. Follow her on Instagram, and Steven Cureño of KOArtistSports.com, KO Artist Sports on YouTube. Again, Fernando Pimentel for BehindTheGloves.com, and we were just done right now with the Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios media press conference here in Los Angeles for their fight in Las Vegas, February 17th at the Mandalay Bay on Showtime. Just your thoughts on this fight and how 2018 is starting off. To me, Brandon looks great. He's in shape. Yes. He looks good. Danny even looks a little bigger than him. Woo, rain is coming down in Los Angeles, baby. We don't get this, so this is weird.
This is weather right here.
This is weird for us. This is Florida.
It's not an applause for us.
I know.
I wish it were though. But just your thoughts on the fight and how both fighters look and what we're getting that day and that night in Las Vegas.
I think Brandon's done with not being in shape. I think he's done with. I think he realized that he lost some opportunities because he allowed himself to get out of shape. I think the Bradley loss, I think, really bothered him because he was off for a year and a half, and I think not even in the gym for like over a year or something like that. So I think he's done with that. I mean, Danny Garcia's been off for over a year himself. I think, or no, it'll be just under a year because he fought in March. Yeah. Once the fight happens, I don't know. I mean, Danny's gonna have to shake out some ring rust. Brandon's like one of our favorites. I mean, we love Brandon. We see him all the time. We wish him the best. I don't know. I think, however, it's interesting because Danny's not necessarily like a boxer in the sense that like Floyd is, or in the sense that like Rigo is. But he fights, and even if when you watch the Thurman fight, Thurman kind of had to box Danny to that's how he realized he had to win.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see kind of what Danny we're going to see, because the best way he gives Rios is to win is to bite down on his mouthpiece and fight him. But Danny's a dog too. I mean, just because he's like a personable, he's a good-looking guy, like he'll bite down and he'll fight.
Yeah, he will.
So if that happens, we're in for a fun night for sure.
Cynthia, your thoughts?
You know, it's funny. You did an interview with him, and Brandon said that he stopped drinking for a year and a half, and he is the trimmest I've ever seen him. And it's good to hear that he admitted that it was his fault, that he was overweight. He lost the opportunities, and he knows that, and he can't go backwards. All he can do is go forward, and so I think he's been able to finally grab his career by the hands, or honest, and really go for it, because he won't get these opportunities anymore. He has to prove to fans and prove to everyone else that he deserves to be here. Danny, it was a little quiet today because his father wasn't here. I was expecting a little.
Danny's usually always quiet.
No, but his father, it's like, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, usually you hear him, but it was nice to hear Danny. He's so humble. He's always been humble, but I think today I even told him, I go, you are more humble, especially after the Thurman fight. And he said his new chapter in his life from here on out is legacy. Yeah. And I like that. He knows he has that loss on his record. He hates it. He can't even think of the word, can't even think of the fight. He has nightmares, he was saying, that he lost again. And so he knows that he has to go in and win this fight. They both do. I think it will be a really good fight. We're gonna find out. Is he gonna, it's Bam Bam, and then what kind of fight is Danny gonna fight? Is it, is he gonna be more fighter? I mean, he'll be a fighter as opposed to a boxer. So he's going to have to push back on Brandon, because Brandon will just keep coming forward on him.
Like Steven actually said, Danny's more of a boxer puncher. Yeah. We've seen it, as you stated as well, he has a dog in him. If you haven't seen the Matisse fight, which you should watch that fight, and you'll literally see Danny Garcia's heart on his sleeve, because he fought ferociously throughout that fight. He was one of the first people to drop Matisse there on that one. So check that one out. Also with Brandon is a straight come forward fighter. Thanks to his work with Ricky Funes and everything, he's gotten some head movement. If you look at his videos right now, working with Donald Leary and Robert Garcia, you can see that head movement come into play with his training right now. So that means he took some of that. So that's him learning new tricks there. So he might bring out something against Danny that Danny might not expect. But Danny, being the boxer puncher, having, I believe, more knowledge of it and how to work against it will probably favor him to win this fight. Obviously, like you said, Brandon Rios is our boy. We've been at his camps, we've been at his gyms, we've actually been able to hang out with him before, talk to him in outside places that aren't boxing related, and he's a very personable person, great guy. Going back to what you said, yeah, Danny has been quiet today, but Danny tends to always be quiet.
Yeah.
He's really one of the most humble fighters in the game. What people tend to hate more is the fact that his father is so outlandish, and Danny doesn't say anything against it.
Yeah, he lets him. He just lets him skate.
The best way everybody can think about it now is Lonzo and LAVAR.
Yes.
Everybody hates Lonzo right now,
Yes.
but the reason why is because LAVAR just speaks so damn much, says so much outlandish shit. So that's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it is. Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia is LAVAR ball and Lonzo ball.
Yeah.
Lonzo's there. Lonzo got there with his skill, and the father's just pushing it out there, making it more observant, making it more viewable for everybody. But you start to hate the father, and when you hate him so much, you hate the son.
Right.
So that's what's going on.
That's a very, very good point. Because if you think about the way Danny started getting his like cherry picker like moniker or whatever was, I believe he fought.
Fight.
It was actually, I think Herrera was first, right? And then he struggled with Herrera. And then he fought Salka, and then when Salka was announced, it was like that's when all the cherry.
Yeah, but even them, they've actually played along with it. If you actually go to their Instagram video, there's a video of them eating a bowl of cherries, just having fun with it.
No, but my point, what I was trying to say was like when you think about kind of Canelo had a year where he fought like Amir Khan, he fought Liam Smith, which I mean I wouldn't say they're on the level of Salka. Obviously, neither one of them are, but. You know, there were kind of fights that you're like, all right, Canelo should win these, but Canelo didn't get as much hate for that. And that's a very good point about the Angel Garcia thing is that I feel like people like to humble, like maybe like the people in general want people to be humbled when they're too like braggadocious, when they're too outlandish. And when you think about it, Danny's not that guy. No, it really is kind of Angel that does it. But so it makes you kind of think like where Danny's career might be.
If it weren't for him.
Yeah, if it weren't for that. You know what I mean? It's an interesting point being that you brought that up.
And let's talk about 2018 and
but first we have the Benavidez and Gabriel fight.
Yes, I was actually about to go there. Yes.
Yeah.
Same card, Benavidez, and the rematch is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good. Benavidez, the youngest active fighting champion right now in boxing. Great talent, height, reach, amazing. And you guys saw the first fight. Great fight. Just your thoughts on the rematch, and do you think it'll probably be an easier time for Benavidez this time? Because usually the guy that wins the first one tends to win the second one in an easier route than they did the first time.
Yeah.
I'll say, just from me having watched David and gyms locally here, I've seen him spar like Jason Quigley, Shabronsky. I know he sparred like Azula Ramirez. Obviously, we all know he sparred like Triple G and I believe Canelo and them. So, and I asked him about that too. And even kind of watching those sparring sessions, and he spars these guys, you know, pretty often to get good work. And when you watch him, when he knows the style, when he's seen a style kind of before, he adapts. And he adapts, and the other guy doesn't adapt to what he's doing. So just knowing that, I feel like he should, and obviously just what you said, the person who wins the first match tends to win the rematch. But just kind of knowing David and watching that about him, and I mean, you guys all saw today. He was pissed today, like, when I was interviewing Ronald kind of he looked behind me at one point, and he kind of like tensed up, and I was like, oh crap, like what's gonna happen behind me? And I realized it was David and his team passed by, and they're intense. I think. I don't know if Ronald, I don't know what him and his team said or whatever. I mean, Ronald seemed kind of intense as well, but it just seemed uncharacteristic to me seeing David like that. Because David was like, he was like, I'm gonna knock this dude out. He was pissed.
Yeah.
So
he's been saying it the whole day. He's gonna knock him out, and you know, he's like, I'm not giving my belt away. This is my belt. Like, it was his baby, and even Gabriel's like, I'm taking that belt. Like, I don't care what he says, I'm taking that belt. I won that fight. They both say they won the fight. It was such a close fight.
Very close.
I scored it as a draw, so I'm like, it could have gone either way. But you know, that knockdown, I thought maybe it would have gone in Gabriel's favor, but it didn't. But you know,
tell the fans what he did with the belt.
Oh my God. So if you go onto my interview on Cynthia Conti on my YouTube channel, or Ring, actually my, so on the belt, there's pictures of fighters and he took off Gabriel's face. So it's
like
just
empty
gold.
holder.
And yeah, that's it. And he's like, I just don't want
I don't
his
see him.
face.
Like, I don't want his
he's like,
face
I don't
on my
want
belt,
it.
he said.
He's petting it and I'm like, it's just empty. So I told him that was very savage of him. But you know what? He's a boxer and they're coming to fight and he wants to keep that belt. And so, you know what? Let's see. I can't say yes or no. I don't know because I just don't know. I don't know.
Well, let's talk about 2018 and how it's going to start off. Obviously, we're going to have ERROL Spence versus Lamont Peterson first. Then we're going to have Mikey Garcia versus Lipinets.
Yeah.
On the same day of this event, Brandon Rios versus Danny Garcia. We're getting Victor Ortiz versus Devon Alexander. We got Linares and Matisse doubleheader here in the Forum. We have Superfly coming up on the 24th of February.
That's
so
a great one.
We have a very heavy stack start of 2018 with very good matches, very good fights, very good lineups, and not just the main event. We're talking about top to bottom cards are really good.
Yeah.
So what event, what fight to start off this year are you guys looking forward to the most that have been announced, of course?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably Superfly 2, I think.
Yes.
To see Soren
Top to
Desai
bottom.
versus Gaio, that's going to be a really good fight. I mean, for you guys, think these guys are too small and maybe that's why you're not interested, you're missing out because
that's the best
these
action.
guys are both of them top 15. I mean, Gaio's probably in the top 15, if not top 20, but Soren Desai is easily in the top 10 pound for pound best fighters in the world right now. Floored Chocolatito in like 4 rounds, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the one I think I'm looking forward to the most. That's been announced so far.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And they added Valori on the card, who's going to be fighting
did.
for a belt. So that's
Fifth
really
world title.
Yeah, so that's very exciing. Ukrainian, what's it,
I'm not
Artem,
gonna try to
something. I don't want to butcher your name, but he's Ukrainian. But yeah, I know Soren Desai is going to fight Estrada. But really, I wish my dream fight, and other people have said it, Inoue and Soren Desai.
But Inoue's moving up to 118, so.
Stay one more, just stay, please, so you two can fight. Because I would love to see you two go at it. I mean, you guys are. That is a fight I would pay money and not even work media. I would just watch it in the ring or watch it in the stands. But Superfly too, all around, top to bottom.
Top to bottom, great
top
cards.
to bottom. That will be the fight to watch, February 25th at the Forum.
Yep.
Yeah.
February 24th.
February 24th, yeah.
And if you haven't seen the first Superfly, I suggest go to YouTube,
Yes.
go to HBO had it, so if you have HBO, go on HBO, go HBO on demand. You'll be able to pull up all 3 fights. Amazing card. Even Valori on the card, that one earlier today, that one had a great fight.
Yeah, that was a great
so
fight.
everything was amazing that night. So I agree, Superfly 2 is probably the best overall.
Yeah.
I think the best news in boxing, though, for us here in Los Angeles, Tom Loeffler creating his own promotion, 360, and he's going to do what Golden Boy's doing with Velasco. They're doing the LA Fight Club. He's going to start his own club show fights here out in Los Angeles. So hopefully they have some at the Palladium in Hollywood and other places, but that's probably the biggest.
He's mainly focusing in Hollywood. So
yeah, so that'd be good.
Good.
I hope that turns out great. Obviously, Tom Loeffler brought a lot of great fights last year. He brokered Superfly. He Canelo Triple G, Canelo Jacobs Triple G. He worked on the Mikey Roman versus Orlando Salido fight. He had his hands pretty much in everything in 2017. Look up the big fight, he's pretty much there. Yeah. So he always had his hands there. So good luck to him on that. But
And a great guy too.
yeah, he's a great guy. Always really good guy. Love the way he works. Love the way he does. Gives the media all the time that he can and everything. Does real good work. But honestly, just check out Superfly 2. That's going to be a great fight. Great night, February 27th on HBO. And again, just tune in to Showtime, February 17th, for this fight, Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios, and the Benavidez Gabriel rematch. And also, don't forget, boxing is back. It's going to start strong, as we stated. And your New Year's resolution for this year in boxing, Steve?
Man, I hadn't thought about one. You know what? Just to get better, to try to bring you guys more exclusive coverage. just get more, try to get as much access as I can for you guys and get as much exclusive stuff as I can. That's what I would say my resolution would be.
All right, I don't have resolutions. I call them intentions.
Well, your intentions.
Well, my intentions for boxing, well, there's a whole list that when they interviewed me for Ring TV, and I didn't know who was going to print it all, Michael Woods. No, I mean, just to get more interviews. Actually, I want to watch more fights, like older fights, and get to learn more of the older fighters. And because, you know, I know the ones now, but I love classic fights, and just to really get to know them and their history, and more women in boxing. Women's boxing is coming up. I mean, it's
There's the Shield fight on Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I really like that. I really love to see that, and just more women supporting women. That's all I care for, and because I'm in a male-dominated sport, and we need all the support we can get. So,
my resolution would be to obviously not take a 2-month hiatus.
They're the ones with the problem, not us.
You've seen Cynthia.
All the time.
They're at events all the time. I took a 2-month hiatus. Obviously, by his absence, Dominic himself took a 2-month hiatus. He will be back next week with us at the Superfly. We will all be there. We actually had Fred around today, but for some strange reason he jetted. But it was good to see Fred again. But yes, we will not take a 2-month hiatus. Thankfully, they were there producing their content for their respective channels, so you still got to see them. But I myself will not take a 2-month hiatus again. Dominic, if he takes it, understandable. Fred, he comes and goes as a ghost. He's all right with us, but that's and also being at bigger events. Last year we were at a Triple G Canelo.
Yeah.
We just want to be everywhere this time.
Fun.
She was at a Rigondeaux versus Loma.
Loma.
So just be all around. If it ain't all of us together, it's gonna be one of us there, and we will always bring you content whenever, wherever. So anything else finally you guys got to say to the fans?
No, just keep tuning in. 2018 is going to be a big year for the Fight Guys for sure, and all of us individually as well.
And just so you know, later on this month or at the beginning of next month, we will be headed down to the Garcia gym. We will get Brandon Rios for his fight for Garcia, and we'll also get Mikey before his fight versus Lipinets, and we'll be able to bring you more content. So just tune in, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys at the fights.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.